Today we're being joined by a potential AFLW draft prospect from the Western Jets, Alex McBride-Loane. Alex, thanks for coming on.
Oh, no worries.
Now, tell us, Alex, about your footy journey. What kind of got you into footy?
So my parents, they ran the local Auskick down the hill.
Mm-hmm.
And so I kind of joined that and then like had heaps of fun, but then obviously aged out. And then took a little break from footy just because it wasn't really anything that had like been, a big thing that I really wanted to do just because I didn't really know much about it.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was probably, I think it was like year 2 or 3. I had two mates who played at the Moonee Valley Football Club. And then I just decided, because we played obviously like footy and stuff at lunchtimes, and then just the idea came, why don't I start playing for a team? And so I joined and played in the mixed under 10s. I think we like just missed out on finals. But like I had heaps of fun, but then I had to age out. But Moonee Valley didn't have a girls team, so I had to move to Maribyrnong Park Football Club. And so I was in the first ever junior girls team, so that was I think under 12s. And then so played that, and then age group switched, so played under 11s. Won the premiership, and Dad was coaching, which was like a extra bonus. And then just from then on, kind of stayed at Marby. Played in 2 grand finals, only won one. We won we automatically won the premiership technically during the year of COVID. So we played the season and then finished at the top of the ladder. But then because of the COVID hit and then lockdown, we couldn't actually play the grand final. But because we'd finished on the top of the ladder, we just like automatically got it.
So how was that feeling then, Alex? Obviously winning a premiership, but in one of the most bizarre of circumstances and the way to win one. Was the feeling, I suppose, different to how you would feel if you physically won it? But considering you did finish on top, it's kind of like, in a way, you did win, as you mentioned, but just a different feeling where you physically didn't get to play the final game. Sounds like a bit of a soccer EPL Premier League style. You just finish on top and you win it there.
Yeah, no, it was definitely different. But I think we were basically undefeated the whole season except for the very last game that we played, where we played Abbas. But then they just got on top of us. But because we had been for the rest of the season, so it was the season, having lost the last game that we played. But the whole season we played pretty well. A lot of the teams we actually beat them quite convincingly. Abbas was really the only contender against us. So it was definitely different. But I think over the year we did deserve it. So I was happy.
For sure. Does it sound even more bizarre thinking about the last game? Obviously, was never the plan to be the last game that you lose, and then X amount of time later, oh, by the way, here you won the premiership. Does it feel even more different knowing that yes, you were so dominant and probably were going to win it anyway, but that last game was a loss, and then they're like, here's the premiership as well?
Yeah, no, it would have been like good to like see who could win it, just because obviously we'd had a really strong season, but then that game we just like couldn't quite get on top. But we'd beaten them previously in the year, so it was technically we were 1-1. So it would have been good to at least have played that one more game just to like have that tiebreaker.
For sure. Now, obviously, you're trying to be like most people that want to be drafted, going to an AFLW club. In your case, when did you take this AFLW dream like full on? Like when was the moment, Alex, that you said, okay, this is something I want to pursue and this is something I want to strive to get to?
I do.
There we go. Now we're back. Then
the AFLW season started. What, about 10 years?
10 years ago. Yeah, 10 years ago now. Yep.
And then so that's pretty much it.
Very nice. Obviously now being part of the Western Jets.
Yeah.
So also that journey, Alex, obviously is striving to get to AFLW. obviously, when did that dream come a reality to you that this is something you wanted to pursue?
Yeah, it was probably as soon as I joined a girls' team. Because obviously playing with the
Mhm.
boys, it was kind of just having fun with my mates from school.
Yeah.
But then when I was actually able to join a girls' team, I was then surrounded by girls who also loved the sport.
Hmm.
And then, I was just like, okay, this is actually something that I could see myself doing. And I had obviously from Auskick being younger and then playing with the boys and stuff like that, I had the skill to be able to play at a higher level
Hmm.
than say some of the girls who were playing at the time.
Yeah.
And then yeah, going through the years, it was just like it got more and more competitive because more girls, um, you know, got better skills and stuff like that. So then it just
Yeah.
became, this big thing. And then AFLW started. Uh,
10 years ago. Yep.
I don't know.
There you go. We're back again. Yeah. Yeah. 10 years
Sorry, I
ago it
think it's
started. Yep.
raining.
Yeah. That
Yeah,
doesn't
yeah, yeah.
help.
Nah. Yeah, so about 10 years ago it started, and so it was like actually a thing that you could pursue and play at the highest level. Um,
Mm.
so yeah, I think it was just all of that combined really just, made me realize, okay, this is something that I really want to do.
Mm. For sure. Then obviously joining the Western Jets. How did that opportunity come about, Alex, to join the Jets and continue the career from there?
Yeah, mine was actually a bit different to most people because I had
Hmm.
Haley Gosso and Robbie Chancellor. So Robbie was the head coach about 4 or 5 years back, and then Haley was assistant
Hmm.
coach. But they both, because I went to the Maribyrnong Sports Academy, they were linked to the
Hmm.
Jets. So they had the head coach was the, say the coach or the, whatever it's a like coach or
Yeah.
teacher for the AFL program.
Yep.
And so yeah, we would have our like usual tech training is what they called it,
Hmm.
and obviously because Robbie and Haley were there constantly, they saw me training and how I was performing, and then
Hmm.
it was I think at the end of one Haley came up to me and she asked, "Oh, is the connection
There you go.
okay?"
You're back. You're back.
Yeah, okay. Um, so yeah, and then I went down. It was the following night, so I went down. It helped
Mhm.
that I knew a few of the girls, so say like Sierra Greaves,
Yep.
Charlotte Basker, and all of them were already there, and I went to school with them.
Okay.
So I had a few friendly faces that I knew. But yeah, so I went there. This was the year that they actually won the grand final.
Oh yeah.
So I think I started training about it was the back end of the season. So I think right before it hit finals.
Yep.
Um, so yeah, trained with them for the rest of the year. And then the next year they had started the under 16s program. So they went
Mm.
into that and then went into the 18s, debuted in that double bottom age season. So
Yep.
I think I debuted halfway through the season.
Hmm.
We didn't make finals, so yeah, just that finished, and then bottom age season, and then top age season, obviously.
Very nice. Now, obviously, a huge honour for sure, Alex, for you, has been a part of the state championship side for the under-18s AFLW squad. Obviously, your team's fourth game for Vic Metro obviously wrapped up on the weekend for massive victory over Vic Country. Well, now we're going through your championship as a whole, Alex. So, first off, with
Mhm.
the being told, Alex, that you're going to be a part of that state championship squad and then be in the summer squad and everything like that. How did you first find that out, and how did you react to the news of that, and to see that the hard work you put in prior to that had already gone on a good note?
Yeah, it was really good. I felt like because I obviously put a lot of effort into my preseason for the season before, so last year's
Yeah.
preseason. And
Hmm.
then I mean the start of the year was a little bit like it was there, but it was like slowly building, but wasn't quite where I wanted it to be. And
Hmm.
then I was a train on for last year, and then I think that training and that just like exposure to the higher level, and obviously last year's Metro squad was quite strong. Like if you look back to how many got drafted, I think over half of them got drafted.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I think that training, and especially because I was playing as a key defender,
Yeah.
I was training against, say, like Georgie Brisbane and stuff like that. So it was really just like pushed me just that little bit more. So then after, say, when that started, I then went to play for Jets, and then it just like took my game to a whole new level. And so, yeah, for the back end of that season, I was through that I was part of the summer squad, and I was like, okay, this is really good because obviously I was part of the train on, but for the previous season, but that's never a guarantee.
Yeah.
And so I felt, yeah, it was like a confirmation to me that the level that I was playing at, especially at the end of the season, was where I needed to be. And so, yeah, Summer Hub went through that training. That was great. And then tried to continue on my progress to the start of the season. And then, how did it go? And then, yeah, so I found out that I was in the trial match for the 18 Metro.
Yeah.
I was really happy with how I played in that game, just as well, because obviously, you're playing against Vic country, so you're playing against the people that you're potentially going to play against again,
Yeah.
who are at that level just for their region, whatever you would want to call it.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then obviously going into especially the first game, you never really know like if you have a guarantee for a spot to play.
Yeah.
So obviously, I was a little bit nervous because I'd been training well, and so I had like a bit of confidence, but there's always that bit like, oh, but what if? And then yeah, the team got announced, and then I saw my name was in it. I was like, okay, this is great. Just gotta go out there and just like put my best foot forward. Do everything that we've been training, listen to the coaches, and then also like learn to play with new people, because obviously training is one thing, but playing in a game is a very different thing. So yeah, no, I was really stoked just to at least like see that all the work that I'd been putting into had paid off.
For sure. And then obviously playing all 4 games, Alex, must be a huge one for yourself. And obviously, we'll go through some of the stats from those 4 games for yourself. Obviously, being an intercept defender, you mentioned you had 9 disposals with 4 tackles and 9 intercept possessions, making every disposal count, having intercept after intercept, and the 13 disposals with 4 tackles and the 7 intercept possessions and 4 rebound 50s against WA in that close game. And obviously against the Allies, as you mentioned, you had a lockdown role against your opponent, who was held goalless. So that's another good credit. Then on the weekend in that big win, the ball wasn't down there too much, but having 3 intercepts and 3 tackles must be pretty cool. And overall, a pretty successful tournament for yourself individually as well as a team.
And yeah, for that whole. Oh, are we back?
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Oh, bloody rain.
Yeah, they kept them goalless the whole game, yeah?
Yeah. So yeah, with my tournament, I was really happy. Just because like my main goal, especially for the role that I play, is just like make sure that my opponent doesn't score. And so I kept my each of my opponents that I played on goalless throughout the tournament.
Oh,
So I
nice.
was like, okay, that's a box ticked. Obviously the were high come up and spoil, or if it's to, intercept the ground ball kind of thing. I was able to do that. And then the last 2 games, I played a bit deeper just because my direct opponents were playing slightly deeper.
Yeah.
So obviously then it's more like not just what you do with the ball, because when I had the ball, I'd like to think that I did what I could. But then as well, you're kind of that like anchor to the back line. So, you're giving directions and whatnot to all your players, kind of, letting them know, if their player's sliding or if there's an interchange happening or if they need to, come a bit more corridor, stuff like that. So I found for the last 2 games that was more of my role rather than, pushing up higher and getting the ball. But I think for all 4 of the games, I was really happy with how I played. And I thought, the coaches, my feedback that I'd gotten was positive. So I'm just, I'm looking forward to now. We've only got, I think, 4 Jets games left. So I'm also, looking forward just to kind of like carry on that momentum into the Jets games. So, yeah.
For sure. Now, obviously prior to this year, Alex, you had played some times as a ruck. Have you seen the good change? And if you're relishing the change of role and you kind of now seamlessly fitting into a new role pretty well?
Yeah, I think, initially I played ruck pretty much all through junior local, just because of my height and then my jumping ability.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. There you go.
Are we good?
Yep.
This is shocking. Being the tap out, and then I had more of a permanent role as a ruck. But then I guess going into my top age season, I was kind of thinking about like long term for the draft. And when I compare myself to people that I had been rucking against, or like people that I've seen rucking, just especially the height difference, I was definitely a lot more undersized. And so, I had been told by a few people as well, like, I'm probably not going to get drafted as a ruck. Like, it's something good to have, in my tool belt for, especially for AFLW clubs, if they ever need something, it's good to have. But I really wanted to push more so my intercept defending, but then also lockdown defending. But I found because, especially with Jets, the ball is coming into the back line quite often. So it was kind of like I'd go into the ruck and then have a rest, say down forward or wherever. But so I wasn't. And obviously, if my team or whatever needs it, I'm more than willing to do it. So I ended up doing it in the Metro practice match, just to give because we had Josie Bamford in one game and then Bella in the other game. So just to give, for my game, it was Josie, just give her a break because we had no one else. So yeah, I feel like it's something that I've shown to people that I can do, but I'm also being able to take advantage of just being able to focus on my backline craft at the moment.
For sure. And obviously averaging 17.2 disposals in the Western Jets side, obviously got a big part into why you're in the stateside this year, and obviously as you relish the roles of keeping each of your opponent's goals, which is obviously good credit for yourself, Alex, as well. Now, in terms of club meetings and, AFLW club interviews, have you had any of those club meetings yet? And if so, how were they going into them?
Mainly, for the moment, it's only been at the Metro Summer Hub. We got the chance to speak to a handful of clubs. So for the moment, that's all I've had. But I found them really good because it was just like, it was more of like a get to know you kind of thing. And so, you gave them, kind of your background, and they'd obviously had prior knowledge of, say, like, you were as well, show them that really enjoyed. So yeah, it's good.
Good, fair enough. Obviously, when it comes to those type of club meetings, even though it wasn't an official one, as you said, more of a get to know each other, was it even a bit nerve wracking then going into those, Alex, going, shit, this is XYZ from XY club, and it's just Wow, and then it's going to eventually, over time, I'm sure in the next few months, going to step up as well.
Yeah, definitely. It was a little bit nerve-wracking as well, because like some clubs recorded you as you spoke to them.
Yeah.
So there was like that sense of like, what you're saying is being physically recorded. So you also got to focus on like just take it as a conversation with the person that you're talking to.
Yeah.
But as well, because it was kind of like a speed dating kind of thing. So you get like I
Oh,
think
yeah.
5-10 minutes with each club. And then they'd
Yep.
kind of just like as soon as the time would go, you just either go out or you go to the next club that you're going to. And
Yep.
so if I had say like a break between talking to some clubs, you'd be in like the room with a bunch of other players, and like
Yeah.
you'd kind of like compare notes of like, oh, what did they ask you? And
Mm-hmm.
some of them would just like ask the most random questions, like, oh, if you could have dinner with anyone, who would it be? And like I was just thinking,
Yeah.
if I was talking to that club, I would have absolutely no idea what to say. But I guess like that's the point of the questions. It's just like trying to see how you go under pressure.
Yes.
But yeah, so obviously like not knowing exactly what the club was going to ask was a little bit nerve wracking, but
Mm-hmm.
mine went relatively smoothly, so I was happy
Yep.
with how I went.
Very good. And now I always normally when I ask people that have had player interview or club interviews, they ask about these or say some of these quirky things. Or actually just mentioned about the dinner thing that some of your fellow players got mentioned or got asked. Did you get asked any questions that you thought were a bit similar to that and a bit shocked that they got brought up?
Outside of foot stuff like that, questions.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
That's fair enough. Now I love seeing what people think some of their strengths are. So what would you say, Alex, are some of your key strengths as a footballer? And what do you feel like some things you're trying to improve even better at right now?
I think some of the things that I could work on is probably my explosiveness, which I am
Mm-hmm.
trying to work on in the gym, especially. Just
Yeah.
there's initial steps after say I've picked up a ground ball, or if I'm trying to chase someone.
Mm-hmm.
And as well, I think just like my balance of being able to push up higher up the ground,
Mm-hmm.
but then having that awareness of, okay, as soon as I do this, I need to get back to and if they're playing higher, it kind of really just got to kick it
Yeah.
or ball or whatever, and then really bust my ass to get back.
Mm-hmm.
And I think my strengths at the moment, definitely my kicking. My kicking it was something that I've worked um, but, in in games that it's not quite coming off exactly how I want to.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I'm trying to figure out, is that like are my hands too soft? Are they too hard? Is it I'm thinking about other players, stuff like that. So yeah, I'm it's like it's a strength, but then it's also something that I'm trying to get back to where it was, because especially last year it was probably one of my
Mm-hmm.
um more dominant skills. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Sure. Now, obviously, throughout the state championship, obviously, you got to play with a lot of good players and play against some very talented players as well. Who was of those four games? You feel like was one of the toughest matchups you had of the four?
Um oh Probably Alicia Blizzard from
Yep.
WA.
WA. Yep.
Yeah, just because she's a obviously a forward, but she
Yep.
pushes up higher, and then
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to say stoppages, so throw-ins and stuff like that, she gets up like a midfielder. And
Yeah.
obviously at the coach level and stuff like that, I'm not necessarily too familiar with stoppage work and stuff like that. Like I can do it,
Yeah.
like I can do it, but it's just more so,
Yeah.
especially in a defensive aspect. Um,
Mm.
I find it because you've got to obviously read how they're going to move, and then you've got to maintain body contact to make sure that even if they do get that ball out, you can lay the tackle or at least put pressure on the
Mm.
disposal. So yeah, she would she was taking me a bit more into the contest.
Yeah.
And so obviously sometimes when they go into the contest, you hold back so then you're able to take that quick kick out. But then when it was closer to our D50, it was like, okay, I've got to figure out how to be able to nullify her impact in that stoppage. And I think I was able to do that quite well because I was just kind of focusing on maintained body touch, just so I knew exactly where she was. And then, whether it's just like a slight nudge so that she's just that half a meter off the ball. But that was probably the hardest matchup that I had.
That's good. Yeah, Alicia Blizzard. She's a very good player. She played in the WA state side last year and had a good season in that championship last year. So that's a good testament to yourself, to quality influence, a very good forward. Now, some teammates that you played with in the Vic Metro side, Alex. Obviously, some names obviously you'll be very familiar with. Some names you may not know too much about. Who kind of impressed you for Vic Metro throughout the state championships?
Probably Taylor McMillan, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Just because obviously I knew how good of a crafty midfielder she was. But it was just her ability, just like she just read the tap and then her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, and then especially in the last game, Bailey Martin with her 7 goals too. She had a crazy game. It was just because it wasn't even that the ball was coming easy to her. Like I think majority of her marks for a set shot were contested marks. But obviously I've trained and on her, and she moves pretty well around to get into space, and then has very good hands to mark the ball. So yeah, they probably.
For sure. You mentioned with Bailey Martin stats. I might as well bring it up. Yeah, 7 goals to 15 disposals, 12 score involvement, 7 marks, and 4 of those contested. I'm pretty sure Bailey's next year's draft. So to produce numbers like that at any point in your time is simply amazing. And on the biggest stage possible outside of the AFLW, that's one way to announce yourself if you hadn't announced yourself already.
Yeah, definitely. It was very impressive. Because she sat out the week before. I think that was just to give her a rest. But yeah, and she came out and produced that, and it's just like, what more can you ask for?
No, not much more at all. That's pretty damn impressive for sure. Now, obviously, I love asking some teammate questions, Alex. I'm going to ask you some. This didn't relate to anyone in the Vic Metro team you were a part of, or just about anyone at the Jets in general. So who loves the limelight, the attention, the camera at the Jets or in the Metro squad? They can't get enough of it, and they know what to do when the camera's around.
I'd say Zoe Bozo. You could just see, her goal in the Allies game made it to the AFL Instagram. So like she just likes to produce those like crafty goals that, you just love to watch on replay.
For sure. If you produce good ones, it's absolutely good. Now, who would Google themselves and watch back their own highlights?
Oh, I feel like Bailey might do that. Just because she takes some good marks and then she kicks some good goals. So I think she'd just probably rewatch her highlights.
For sure. If you produce games like the weekend, absolutely warranted. It's warranted anytime, but in particular when you go that damn good on the weekend. Now, who's some teammates that you've been impressed with? They're kind of flying under the radar a little bit and aren't getting talked about as much publicly as you feel they should.
I would say players like Chloe Thorne from Oakley Chargers. I think she's obviously being in Oakley, it's a quite dominant team. But so I'm pretty sure she captains the Chargers. But I think, she's just not quite getting the recognition that she should. Especially, I notice at training and in the games as well. She just has that ability. She can take a contested mark, especially like against players that are quite bigger than her. But then she can also she can just like drive her legs, get into good positions. Whether she kicks, but then she has follow up play, stuff like that. So yeah.
It's very true. Yeah, very talented midfielder from Oakley, as you mentioned. Now, if you were stuck on a teammate, if you were stuck on a deserted island with teammates, who would you bring and not bring, and why?
Oh, I would probably bring. I'd probably just bring Chloe Baker West. Just I've known her for years. We played a bit of local footy against each other. Have obviously come through Jets and Cannons at similar times and stuff like that. So we have quite a good relationship, and we also go to the gym together.
Okay.
Have just a good relationship with her. Who would I not bring? I feel mean answering this question.
That's fair enough. All right, then I'll save you then. If it's not a player, then is it a particular type of trait of someone, that bit of a quirk someone might have, or a trait that someone does that you're like, okay, if you're going to do this, I don't want you to come, please.
Probably just selfishness. Just like, especially if you're on like a deserted island, like
you want to get out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and you want to get out. Now, speaking of, may have a few names here. Who are some of your favourite teammates? Are there at the Jets or a part of the Metro squads?
Probably at Jets. Ellie Pulowski, Polly Conway, Evie Fitzgerald, and then Metro, Kiara Boyd. She played in the first game, but she also plays at Jets with me. Zara Newworth. I developed a good friendship with her, having played especially key back roles together. And then obviously Chloe as well.
Yeah, good. Now, if any teammate was to appear on a reality TV show or any TV show, who would that be, and what would the show be?
And why? On a reality TV show.
It can be any TV show, but yeah.
Sorry.
Yes, so that's all right. Yeah, TV show. Who'd be on that TV show?
Yes, that's right. I would probably say Geordie Allen, just because she has the confidence for it. So I think she would probably be most likely to go.
Very nice. Best chatterbox of the club. Is there a particular teammate or teammates that are good chatterboxes?
Chatterbox. Probably Chloe Baker West. She likes a little bit of a yap.
So, like I say, sometimes it can mean a good thing. That's for sure. Now, who's someone that avoids the camera? Who tries to get away from it? Normally, I don't hear many options in this category. So, who tries to avoid it, if there is anyone?
I feel like it'd probably either be between Izzy Creighton or Zoe Wilkinson, just because they're a little bit more shy. So I think they'd probably avoid it more so than others.
That's fair. If you were to have any teammates form a music/rock band, who would be in that band, and what would the band be called?
Sorry, can you repeat that question? It cut out.
That's all right. If your teammates were to form a rock/music band, who would be in the band, and what would that band be called?
With me, or just like in general?
No, anyone. You can have anyone in the band. You can be a part of the band with a few teammates. It could be just other teammates. Who do you think would be good with the music?
Probably Bailey Martin, Zara Newworth, and Jade McClay.
Nice. Any particular group name?
Oh, no, I'm not sure.
No, that's fair enough. That's all good. Now, obviously, I believe in correcting saying that you barrack for the Hawks. Is there any particular players of the Hawks or anyone in the competitions that you try and model your game off, or just try and improve your game by watching?
Yeah, I mean at the Hawks probably James Sicily, just because he is a little bit undersized for the role that he plays, but he's able just to really read the flight of the ball really well and then use his body or jump at it at the right time. to be able to get it, and then he can also go down forward, which is something that I would like to develop in my game. Just because I feel like it's like such an important thing. Like, have a player, you can be that really crucial defender, but then if your team needs a goal, you can also go down forward. And then as well, players like Jacob Wiedering, Jeremy Howe, Tom Stewart, just like really good at intercepting, reading the flight, just being able to disrupt the player, or even coming up in like third man up, just to be able to disrupt the play and just impact.
Sure. You mentioned just earlier on about the Jets, obviously Sierra Greaves, obviously now at Richmond, and obviously Charlotte Basker, who's now moved from Hawthorn to the Saints, and I'm sure she'll be very good for my Saints as well. Have you leaned on those girls for any advice on it, or anyone else to handle this draft year? Obviously, they've both been through it. Sierra most recently, and Charlotte a few years ago. To kind of lean some advice on how to handle this, or have you approached this season being your draft year?
Yeah, obviously, because I'm quite close with Sierra. So I've asked her questions here and there about how her time at Richmond is going, how the transition's going, and as well, obviously, because they don't have a direct link to a VFL club. Like, how does it work?
Yes.
Outside of the season and stuff like that. But yeah, just kind of just how as well she felt going into the draft. Also, knowing the fact, she could potentially go interstate, and how she kind of dealt with that, because it's always a possibility. You never really know, especially as years go by, clubs are able to look more so picked up.
If the opportunity, Alex, was to arise, you mentioned there about, with Sarah and just anyone, who can go interstate, depending on how the clubs look these days. If that opportunity, Alex, was to go interstate, would that be something you'd be open to?
Yeah, always, because, you want to go wherever you can just to be able to get into the system. And, I'm always, I've been to a few different places around Australia. Some places have a lot nicer weather than Victoria. Some the same, some not so nice. But yeah, I mean, I have the support of mum, who she'll move wherever I go. Not sure about dad just because of his work. But that gives me some sort of security. But I mean, it's just a way to develop new experiences, new memories, and who knows what can go on later down the track. It could end up being I get drafted here, but then trade to somewhere else, or I get drafted there and trade back here. You never really know. So it's kind of just like I make sure that I'm like really open-minded and not necessarily scared or intimidated by that possibility.
For sure. Now, obviously, something we were going to backtrack a year or so back. Obviously, playing, I think it was correct me if I'm wrong, for the Australian team, I think, or the AFLW Academy at GMHBA Stadium, Alex. I think, was it last year or the year before? How was that opportunity, and to play on a ground like GMHBA?
Yeah, it was really cool, just because, like, obviously, it was the Futures Academy game.
That's right. Yes, Futures game.
And so, yeah, playing with and against like girls from, playing with and against girls from all across Australia, was just really cool. And then, you're meeting so many different people, and then also seeing how heaps of different people play. But so we were divided into the two teams, but we actually spent, so we had a camp leading into it. But to like really build our team bond, we only really spent time with our team. So it was really interesting getting to the actual game and then playing the game. I would go and then I'd see people on the other team, and I'd be like, I haven't seen you before, because we were so like
separated.
So separated. But yeah, it was an amazing experience, and especially like the ground, just like the quality of it. Obviously, it was you notice the how big the stands were, but then
Yeah.
we didn't necessarily pack it out as much as other like games would.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was really cool. And then we played it as an opener for I think the first or second game of the AFL season that year. So then we also got to sit up in the boxes
Yeah.
for our dinner and then watch the game.
Mm.
So I think it was like
Was that
Geelong
Geelong and Melbourne?
versus I think Melbourne, yeah.
Yeah. The AFLW.
Yeah,
I
it
remember this
was
last year
definitely,
now.
yeah.
Yep. Yeah. No, very nice. And
Yeah.
that's obviously a good
So
experience. So
yeah,
what was it
that
like?
was a really cool experience.
Yeah. What was it like walking out there, Alex, too? Like walking out from the ground, obviously go up the race or whatever you want to call it, or down the race or whatever. The feeling must have just been a little bit different knowing it's from your generic local ground or Coach League ground or even some of the state championship grounds that you've played at recently overseas, interstate. But walking out on GMHBA must have been a pretty cool and different feeling when you walk out there and go, Jesus, look at the size of this ground.
Yeah, it definitely was. I mean, I think GMHBA's the ground size is actually a bit smaller than other grounds, but
Yeah.
yeah, it was just especially with the stadium around it, it was just like so much bigger than anything else that I'd played in.
Yeah.
Especially, I mean, Jets training ground is like Crofts Reserve, which is like
Mm-hmm.
just like a ground with like a couple ovals, but it's nothing really like big or anything like that.
Yeah.
Like the closest to GMHBA before the national championship games that just went that I'd had was
Mm-hmm.
probably Highgate or like Windy Hill.
Okay.
So going from those to GMHBA was just like a massive jump, but it was just even the ground quality was just amazing. Like the ball, it was just there was no moisture, nothing. Ball bounced
Mm-hmm.
really nicely. Wasn't slippery. So yeah, it was really cool.
That's good. Now, I don't know if you ever noticed at GMHBA, I now, as a joke, tongue in cheek, I no longer call it GMHBA normally. I now call it Shavers Stadium. So if you look at the light towers, they are exactly like Shavers, all four of them.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Because it goes like up and then like into like that
Yeah.
triangle up on the top. Yeah.
Yes. Yep. Yeah, that's why I call it Shavers Stadium now. Now, I love asking hot topic food questions, Alex, so I can get a whole range of answers here. So how these works, I'll ask you 6 food questions, and if you answer them correctly to how I would answer them, I'll give you a point. The lowest anyone's ever gotten is a bunch of people on 3. Only 15 people have got 6 out of 6, so we'll see how you go. The first one, and probably the most controversial food question of the lot, chicken palmy. Is it a palmy or is it something else?
It's a Palmer.
Oh, no, other Victorians, Alex. I mean, I'm a Victorian, but I don't call it that. I'm going to ask you why, okay?
Yeah.
Since it's a palmy. So if you pronounce it okay, it's Parmigiana. And if you spell it, it's an I. So why do you call it that?
I don't know. Just like chicken Parma just sounds better than chicken Palmer.
Fair enough. I mean, I'm not giving you a point, but fair enough, I guess. Now, the next one, tomato sauce, cupboard or fridge?
Off the tongue better.
So what was that? Yep.
Oh, fridge or cupboard for what? Sorry, I didn't get
Tomato
it.
sauce. That's right. Great old technical difficulties we're having. If people haven't noticed already, yes, tomato sauce, cupboard or fridge?
Cupboard.
Cupboard. Well, I always give people a point for this one. So you're 1 for 2, not bad. Just at least 2 more. Pineapple on a pizza, yes or no?
Yes.
Damn it. All right, 1 and 3. No, yuck. Pineapple, disgusting. Right. Favorite food?
Tacos.
Good answer. That'll get you a point. 2 for 4. Right, we just need 1 more of the last 2. Food you don't like, Alex?
Mushrooms.
Good answer. There we go. 3 for 5. We're flying now. Now, at least see if we can get off equal last. At least the last one. Favorite type of food / restaurant. If you had to pick it, doesn't have to be an actual restaurant name, but like a particular type of food restaurant you'd go to. What would that be, or takeaway place?
Mexican.
Good answer. 4 for 6. See, Never in doubt.
There
Just
we
went
go.
with flying colours. Started, and then flied home, charged home, and had a storming victory. So good job. Now, I've got a few more for you, Alex. I do really appreciate you coming on and through all these technical difficulties. So I really do appreciate it with
Yeah.
good old weather down in Victoria, hey? Now, obviously, people always have these fan interactions as a fan with these AFLW players or AFL players. Is there ever, can you pinpoint a moment in your life at any point in time, whether it's been as a player or just as a fan, that you got to meet one of your AFL or AFLW idols? And if so, were there any memorable or forgettable moments?
Well, I met Taylor Harris.
Yep.
Because I played with the former Carlton CEO's daughter, and when he was at Carlton, he asked her if she wanted to come down to one of the local games.
Yep.
So she came down, and I think she watched the game. I'm not sure how much she watched, just because.
Yeah.
Game finished. So yeah, there wasn't too much, a lot of interaction, just because she was because it was juniors. A lot of the younger kids were trying to get around her, and then I
Oh,
was
yeah.
also getting prepared to play, and then
Yeah.
played the game. So yeah, there wasn't really anything like significant that happened that I would want to, not forget.
Okay.
But yeah, it was cool to meet her. I don't even remember if I got a photo with her, though, to be honest.
No.
Which I probably should have done, but
Yes,
yeah,
that is
that was good.
that's rule 101 for me. Ever going to meet someone that you may not meet again or very rarely meet? That's rule 101, Alex. That's the
Can you hear me?
first thing I would do. Yeah, I can hear you. Right. If people haven't noticed the technical difficulties by now, I don't know what you're doing. But yes, Alex, yes. So we're talking about rule 101. I don't know if they caught that, but they probably did. But we'll try it again. Rule 101, Alex, is if you ever meet someone that you deem as a celebrity or someone famous or someone that you want to see, and you may not meet them again. Rule 101: always take a photo. That's rule 101 for me. That's what
Yeah,
I would do. You just never know if it could happen
yeah.
again. It probably will happen again, but you don't know how many chances you get. So that's rule 101. That's what I would say. Now, two more to wrap it up. So I really appreciate you coming on, Alex. The first one is mark or goal of the year. Which one would you rather do and why?
Yeah.
Mark or goal of the year. Which one would you rather do and why?
Mark of the year. Just because I feel like, especially as a defender, like obviously I don't get, I don't get around the goals too much, but I just
Mm,
find like a really satisfying mark, like whether you've just like, absolutely just like jumped on someone's head, or like
yeah.
it was just like a juggling mark that you just wouldn't think, um, would come off. I
Yeah.
think a mark is more impressive than a goal, if I'm being completely honest.
That's fair enough. Now, if you were to pull off a mark or goal of the year contender, Alex, would you be one to go post it or share it?
Yeah, I would. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Good. I love the honesty. And to be honest, I mean, yes, I run a channel, so I kind of have to, but I would do it as well. Like, it makes no sense. Like, you want to have yourself out there. You want your good moments to be shown. I mean, there's only one way for that to happen, and that's by sharing it, right? You can't just hope
Exactly.
it happens. So, yeah, now, it's probably the most important question you've been asked this entire conversation. Now, obviously, AFLW is the dream, Alex. You mentioned before about happy to go interstate. What is
Mhm.
your dream AFLW scenario? If you can map it out in an ideal world, obviously you've ticked off the first few boxes, being part of the academy side, the futures game, the state championships team representing Vic Metro, playing all 4 games in this tournament, which is a new thing, by the way, to add an extra game this year. What is your true ambitions for AFLW, and what would you love to get out of your footy career?
Yeah, my dream scenario would probably, I'd love to get drafted to, say, Hawthorn, just because, like, I've backed for them since I was younger.
Mm.
Um,
Yeah.
or potentially Richmond, because I know, quite a
Mm.
few people who have been drafted there, and obviously Sierra's there.
Yeah.
But yeah, then there's also, some of the older girls. So like Ellie McKenzie, I also went to school with her. I'm not
Okay.
sure if she knows. I'm not sure if she knows who I am, but that's okay. But yeah, and then as well, then you've also got players like Mon Conti, Katie Brennan around you, and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So yeah, probably either one of those. But then as well, like if I got drafted in the state, I would like it to be slightly warmer weather, maybe like Gold Coast or Brisbane.
Oh, yeah.
And then yeah, I guess I see how it goes. Because obviously I have friends and family here, but if I'm like
Yeah.
absolutely thriving up there, then there's the potential of staying up there.
Very true. Alex, it's been a pleasure having you on. All the best for the rest of the season. Hopefully everything goes your way through the draft and your AFLW dreams get realised and you have a long, successful career at those clubs, at the club that you hopefully get drafted by. So I really do appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, it's been good to be on the show. Thank you for having me. And yeah,
No
I look
worries.
forward to seeing how everything pans out all the way up to the draft and beyond. So yeah, thank you.
No, Alex, thank you very much for coming on. Again, all the best.